Hello everybody! Welcome to Agashi Review, where I review movies, dramas that you don't want to waste your time watching. I'll give you a synopsis, shorts review along with my thoughts and opinions, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Now let's go into the review. Hello everybody, Agashi here today. So today I'm going to be doing a Chinese drama review on the drama called My Heroic Husband. It's a total of 36 episodes and I was able to watch the first 3 episodes of it, so it's a weird number. Instead of watching 2 or 4 episodes, I was just able to have enough time to watch the first 3 episodes of it. So you guys know how we always watch Chinese drama with a girl always time traveling. It's the guy this time, so it's pretty neat and it's pretty hilarious and I'm liking it, so we'll see how it turns out. But I'm gonna go over the cast synopsis and the recap of the first 3 episodes with you guys. So as for our cast, we have Gu Qinling playing Ning Ying, and then Song Yi playing Sang Tang-er, and then Olivia Jian playing Liu Xinguang, something like that, and Dai Xinyu playing Wu Qimeng, Liu Guanling playing Song Wenxin, and then Yu Yang playing Sang Zhongkai, Shang Yushen playing Lu Hongtian. And there's tons of other people. There is literally a lot of people in here. The list just goes on, but I'm just giving you guys partial of the cast. But as for our synopsis, a young modern businessman travels back in ancient time, and he lands in the body of a man about to be married as a metrological husband into a family of clothing merchandise. And he then begins incorporating modern methods into the past and helping his friends and business and battling all this stuff in the past. And he ultimately gets involved with affairs of the country and politics and scholars, stuff like that. So recap on the first 3 episodes, the drama starts off with the writer of the story, where the editor calls him and asks him if he can produce a new novel that is comedy and put it into his commercial war comedy that he's currently writing. The writer's main character's name is Jin Hao Chen, and he decided to put an end to this war drama mysterious that he's writing, and just as he was about to put the end of it, he felt like he was unwilling to do so and to finish it just like this, like just end it like this. And his main character Jiang Haochen speaking to him like, is this how you want it to end? And he realizes that the reason why he's even writing this story is because this character is just like him. He calls up the editor and says that he will create the next novel, but the main guy must be Jin Haochen. He will make changes to the character and just let him keep it. The editor agrees. The writer starts to rewrite another different story, and he ends the current story and where he puts Jin Haochen gets hit in the head in the modern time, passes out, and he crosses time to the Wu dynasty, where he ends up in the body of Ning Ying, a poor scholar. And he is still Jin Haochen, but now his parents' name, identity, and everything has changed. And we flash to see Ning Ying. He is a whole different person, and he wakes up, he's confused on where he's at, and he races out of his room where he meets the maid Xiao Chen, and Xiao Chen tells him everything about his life, as it seemed that he has memory loss. And she tells him that he will be wedding their Lady Su tomorrow, and he will become a metrological husband, something like that, and his family fell into poverty, and since the promise between him and the Su family, they will wed him into the family. So basically the Su family is taking him and he's going to go live with them. So basically he's the bride and they're marrying him. So that's what it is. Xiao Chen doesn't give him much information, but she's all, you gotta be prepared for the wedding. It's because it's tomorrow, and because of the accident, he's been in coma since then, and he's been awake, you know. So now we flash back to see Sang Tang-er, who is going to be the bride, and she's preparing her shop for the new opening, and she's preparing for this new cloth called Cloud Gauze or something like that. But her grandfather loves her the most, and he favors her, and because she's more capable than her cousin, who is Song Wenxin. And it's a competition between both cousin, whether whoever wins the grandfather's seal owns everything of the Su family. And so Su Tang-er's plan is to win the seal so she can free Ning from his family's debt and everything and set him free. So we see her working hard and everything like that, you know, at her shop before the opening and everything like that, creating all these fabric and all these color dye and everything. Just then the guardian comes and tell her that her wedding is tomorrow. She has to go home and try on her wedding dress and get prepared. Back at home, Ning gets dressed in his wedding outfit, and then he overhears the maid talking about how beautiful the bride is. He sneaks in to see his fiance and sees that she's an old lady. So now he's like putting the pieces together like, oh, that's why she's gonna marry me. She's an old lady and she's single and she has not gotten married. That's why she's marrying me. No, you know. So he makes the escape for it, and on his way of escaping, he runs into and then he tries to run, and he runs in, oh, this is so gross to me. He runs into a maid carrying a basket of silkworm, and it bumps into him, and he ends up like one latches onto him, and then he runs away and hides under like this, like they have a main hall room where all the meetings and everything is at. He runs over there and hides under the table. And then when we learn that Tanger asked her Aunt Myung to try on the wedding dress because they have a similar figure to each other, because she was too busy taking care of the shop. But after she learned that Ning escaped, she races back home, and now like their family is like sitting in the main hall talking of what they're going to do, because the cousin wants to cancel the wedding. The cousin and the uncle wants to cancel the wedding, but Ning and her mother is gonna go along with the wedding, that they will find Ning. And so just when, you know, they're all like having this heated conversation, the silkworm climbs into Ning's clothes, and he like jumps out, and then he like because he overheard everything, he ends up yelling at the Wingxing and the uncle, stating that women can be successful, because he starts talking about the future, how all these clothing silk business are done by women, and women are CEOs of it. And then he goes to the grandfather and apologizes that he cannot continue on with the wedding, and he wants to apologize to Tanger too. But instead of walking to her, he walks to Aunt Myung, and he tells her that he cannot marry her. And just then he learns that Tanger is the younger lady. Seeing that she's beautiful, he's not like, oh, I will accept this wedding, you know. So everybody's like, oh, he's a bit confused, and they come to conclusion that because of his accident, he's a little bit weird with his memory loss and everything. So that ends it for there, that they are going to continue on to the wedding. So Tanger and Ning comes to an agreement that they will get married and stay married until she gets the seal to set him free, and they will divorce. Meaning they will act as a couple in front of others, but they will not sleep together. She will not produce an heir for the Su family. So he must not cause any trouble during these time, and he must listen to her until she gets the seal. So the wedding happens the next day. With Ning's situation, he needs to memorize all the portraits of the important guests, not to humiliate Tanger. But he falls asleep, and during this time, he dreams about when he got hit, and we learn that it's actually Tanger's father doing, and they plan to hurt him for whatever reason we don't know yet. But everybody's like after him. They don't like him. So the next morning is when the wedding comes. The wedding is happening, and instead of bringing the wedding sedan to pick up the bride, they bring to pick him up the groom to the bride's house. And so he gets over there to the Su mansion, and he greets all the guests, but he does not recognize them because he doesn't have any recollection of who they are. Weixing and the uncle is super happy because it's going to shame and humiliate Tanger. But Ning has a brilliant idea. He adapts modern wedding to the back then, where every guest that comes in writes their name on the guest list as, you know, thank you for coming to our wedding, that we know you came, before entering the house. So when the guest writes their name, he looks at the name, looks at the person, recognizes them, thanks them, greets them, whatever, stuff like that. So he saves himself and Tanger. At the wedding ceremony, it gets stopped by Wu Qimeng, and he states that Tanger did not want to marry him, but she chose a poor scholar, and he must confess that Ning is not a good person. He has a secret wife and a secret son, and he wants to point his proof by doing a prenatal test. And then Wu Qimeng puts, like, you know, alum into the water or something like that, and then so when the little boy and Ning's blood mix, it put together, it mixed. So Ning admits that that this is his son, but he also wants to say that Wu Qimeng is also his son. He has tons of secret sons. And if Wu Qimeng wants everybody to know the truth that him and Ning are not father and son, then to do a prenatal test as well. Ning goes outside and he gets a fresh batch of water, and then he pricks both the finger and drops in the water, and the blood mixes. So he's all like, now you gotta call me your father. Pretty much, I'm your daddy, dude. Stuff like that. So he like playing like modern stuff against this guy. So Wu Qimeng agrees that Ning is not his father and admits the truth that the little boy is Ning's secret son, and he just tricked everybody and he did all these things, you know, to fake it all up because he can't have her marry him. But he's humiliated and he just wanted to stop the wedding. He apologized and he leaves. The wedding continues and, you know, it goes on. So now Ning Ying and Tang Er are married, they're husband and wife, and he starts to help her and he starts to use his skills of the future to help her. And slowly she starts to fall in love with him, and a lot of things starts to arise, and he ends up going to scholar school. And this is where he is going to get involved with a lot of people, and a lot of things is gonna happen, and basically he's using the future to mix in with the past. So you know how they always do it, it's the girl, now it's the guy. But that is the recap of the first 3 episodes for us, and do look forward to see how things are gonna turn out. And I'm actually, at first I was kind of like iffy because I watched like the first like 10 minutes of the drama. I was just like, well, I'm not really liking it. But as I continued to watch it on, I was just like laughing, you know, it's just hilarious and all these things like that. And it's just so funny to be seeing the guy being the time traveling back to go back, and he's trying to solve everything, he's trying to do all these things in the past. So it's actually really hilarious. I really like it. I do look forward to see how this drama is going to turn out. And I think at this point they're probably like, you know, 10-15 episodes in, you know, so I have a lot of catching up to get to, and like obviously letting it sit. So you know, if you guys know how I am, all the drama stuff like that I don't want to watch, I could just get through it and get to the main point and understand what's gonna happen in the drama and what's gonna turn out. But basically this is actually the writer, he's writing the story, so I don't know if the writer himself is in here, or it feels like he got put in there, or it feels like he's putting his character in there, because the writer, his new story that he converted to was called My Heroic Husband, like the title of the drama. So I don't know, I think that will get explained to us. Well, that is a bit that what kind of confuses me, so I want to actually know if it's actually the writer that went, or it's just him writing the story all along and he swapped his character to go time travel, I don't know, or something like that. So I don't know, we'll see. But that's a bit confusing to me. But if you guys do know or understand it, let me know in the comments below, because I'm a bit confused on that part. But that's it for today's review, and I will see you guys next time.